Almost Shabbat Shalom. Almost Shabbat Shalom. Hello, everyone. Hello. Let's see how this stands here. There we go. So I'm starting with a sound bowl, with the root chakra sound bowl. The root chakra sound bowl. We'll talk about sound. Today is the first portion of the Torah, Bereshit, Genesis, in the beginning, and ties everything into sound, into our words, new beginnings, new creation. And this sound bowl is really connecting to our root, to our base, to our ancestors, to our ancestry. Brings into order, brings into grounding. And today we're actually starting a new portion of Bereshit, the first portion of the Torah, Genesis, in the beginning. Very interesting, very, very rich, very revealing about our existence, how we are with one another. Shabbat Shalom. So in the beginning. So this sound bowl is, again, the root chakra sound bowl for grounding, taking us to our beginning, to the beginning note, to our beginning note. And for those of you who are following my podcast, Abracadabra, Create What You Speak, this is also today the source of where this word comes from. Abracadabra, for those of you who don't know, is coming from Aramaic, and it means literally Evra Kedabra, I create as I speak. And in this portion of Bereshit, we see how the power of words, the frequency of words create our reality, enters us into a dimension. So we'll get to that. So in the beginning, the portion of Bereshit today, we're starting everything in the beginning, and the portion starts Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. In the simple translation, in the beginning, Bereshit is Genesis. In the beginning, God created the sky and the earth. So, for those of you who are interested and keen about letters, about the Hebrew words, about the Hebrew letters, how they come together, it doesn't say in the beginning, really, because otherwise it would say Reshit bara Elohim First, God created heavens and earth. He says, in the beginning, Bereshit. So in Kabbalah, it talks about the letter Bet, which starts the word Bereshit, yes, talks about other worlds and other universes that existed before this was created, before that creation that we're talking about in Genesis came to fruition. And when it's talking about there are certain words in Hebrew that are inclusive. So in one sentence, you can tell much more than spreading out the word. So when it says God created the et, every time it's written et, it means that it's an inclusive from A to Z. For example, when in 46 they're talking about the Big Bang, right? Everything started from that dot. When talking about the Earth, the matter was created in that dot. Everything that is about to be created was already included in that dot. Similarly to the pineal gland, where in the pineal gland, the luz button in Hebrew, as it's called, the luz um, rock, as it's called, the luz stone, includes all the DNA structure of us. The same thing with the dot that started the reduction in the light, the reduction in the heavenly light, to create the matter. And what is a matter? Chomer. This is a matter, although it creates the sound. This is a matter. The matter is a non-shining light, right? It's a non-shining light. For example, there is light, as we're talking about light, and as it's talked about in the fourth day in the creation. Not the sun, but the light. We are light. In order to uh, to uh, to exist in this body, the lights, the heaven light, the divine light, had to go through several contractions, through several worlds, to be able to be hosted in this body without disintegrating your body. So within that dot of light, dot of energy that started, everything that is about to create, that was about to be created, was already included in that dot, in that dot. And then it's saying something interesting. It says, "Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz." Now, many people believe and take Elohim as a plural, and usually in Hebrew, when you have that kind of wording, it'll be a pluralistic, a plural indication for plurality, if that's a word. But in this case, what we see is Elohim is being referred to as a singular because God is singular. There are not many gods like they used to believe in older cultures, that there is a God for the sun, and then there is a God for the water, and then there is a God for love, and then there is a God of war, and then there is a God of peace, because they could not comprehend that there is that a will be the same God that inhabits all these contrasts, right? Elohim, Eloha, El in Hebrew means power, means the power. So Elohim is the creator and the harnesser of all powers. So that is why it is talked about Elohim, about God, in a singular, Bereshit bara, God created, but the word God in Hebrew appears to be as if it is plural, but it is not plural, it is mean the plurality of the powers of God, not as God itself, or him or her or they self, right? It is about the powers of God. Another interesting thing is that in the beginning there was tohu vavohu, a mess, right? Everything started with an explosion, with a, a exploding that dot of energy, that dot of light that trickled down, exploded. So everything was combined. That light was combined with darkness. Everything was combined. It was called tohu vavohu. Tohu comes from the word lithot, wander, to like wander without any direction. And vavohu, vohu means in a storm. So everything was a wind goes here, wind goes there. It's like think about when you see videos or clips in an ocean where the ocean is rough and there is wind go the way wind takes the wave this direction and the wind take the wave in the other direction. Everything is a mess. So the question is why then there are stages, then there are 6 days, and God saw the first day. Well, actually, God saw a day, Yom Echad. We'll talk about that. And then the second day, and the third day, and 6 days. Why does God need to? Why can't He just do one thing and create everything? Just like in Egypt. Why were they needed 10 plagues on Egypt in order to release the Israelites? Couldn't be one plague, right? Jump to the end, to the death of the firstborn, and then Pharaoh will release all the Jews and everybody will go. And this is to say that to show how God controls all the powers of nature and everything, and we can see the miracles through the nature way of the natural way of nature, but how nature is being altered. So through this, through exhibiting all these controlling powers, we can refer to God as Elohim. So this is also the same thing with 6 days, but more than that, man was created in the sixth day after everything else was already created. In a way, come enjoy the dinner, right? The meal, everything is ready. But really, it is to give the humankind the understanding of humility, the understanding of humility where we are in relation to the rest of creation, in relation to the animals. I was talking today to somebody, and I was in Palos Verdes, which is a really nice area. It's all trees, and there are houses in the middle, and you can see the ocean, and it's beautiful. And the person was talking about that they saw coyotes and they see other animals, and we're talking about that they were here first, right? They were here first. And who are those who live in cages? The people who created houses, cages of cement in the middle of the woods, to have humility for the creation that was here before us, for us as well, right? So that is that is an aspect to show humanity. With that, why does God have to start from a mess? Why does God have to start from? Oh, I see all these messages. Great. Have nothing to do with this. We'll remove these irrelevant messages later. Um, why does God have to start with a mess to come into order? This is a great teaching for us, a reminder every day. We start sometimes something new. We are now in. We just went through a midst. We were in the midst of an energy push, and we're going through something new. We're experiencing new experiences. We're experiencing new actions, new revelations, right? And when we start a new thing, especially something that is not natural, that is not coming to us naturally, or that is not something that we're familiar with, we many times have this tohu vavohu. We many times have this uh, mess, the light and the darkness. Do I do this? Do I do that? How do I go about here? How do I go about this? Am I doing the right here? Am I doing? How do we go about this? And this is to show that God self created everything in stages, and everything has its stages. We can't go from 0 to 100 in 2 seconds and expect to maintain that as well. Because we may start something, is like somebody is trying to stop smoking, right? Some people can do it cold turkey, and some people need gradual approach to that. This is to encourage that we may go 2 steps and go a step back. It's okay. We are progressing, and each test or each challenge that we are experiencing is not here uh, by accident, and is not something that we can that we cannot handle, right? Yeah, bringing back to our own center, bringing back to our core, to the center, because it's like a computer file. Many times, computer starts acting erratically. Why? Because the permissions of the file are being skewed by user error. Usually, it's a user error. So how do we fix that? We have to repair the permissions. How do we repair the permissions within us humans? Different modalities. The one that I believe is the critical and probably the best modality is sound, because we come from sound. In 10 utterances, the world was created. God spoke 10 times and the world was created. Why did he 10 times? So yes, in Kabbalah we can go about saying the reasons of what each sphere is and which side of masculine and feminine, but it is to give us the understanding that everything is in stages. So when we go through new things and we go through new experiences, we are to embrace, we are to be encouraged that we are humans, and by the challenges we grow, by the challenges we learn. If we do it all at once, we don't also have the value of the work that we've done. And when we do the work, we also value the outcome. So this is this is something that is for us here after this massive transitions and new changes and new realities, the realities that are paralleling to each reality that we exist in, is an encouragement. Everything in stages, and every choice that we make is going to direct us into this new existence, into this new reality. So we are in Genesis, we are in the beginning, and any new thing is something here for you, something here for us. Let's embrace that. Let's embrace that with sound, meditation. And I want to try something new today, something aside from the sound. So I want to, I have what I use with clients. I call them intention cards. These are intention cards. And these cards are here to poke us, to illuminate something first, and then to poke us. So let's see what I mean by that. Okay, so I'm pulling this card. And let's see how and if and how it ties, if and how it ties to today. And I'm smiling because I already see that. So here is the question. I don't know if you can see that. Yes. I don't know if the video is flipped, but these cards pose questions. And these questions are questions to poke our interest, to poke our way of perceiving, to poke our way of thought, and to poke our actions. Because the stages that we're taking are great. We can decide, oh, today I'm going to stop smoking, or today I'm moving to a different place, or I decide to take on myself a new challenge. It's great in that moment, in that first 24 hours, in that week. But the action and the consistency is what's going to really make a difference. So what's the easier way? So what is the easier way? Are you going through something that is difficult? Are we going through something that is difficult, that is very easy pulling us back into the familiar, into the known, into the, oh, I rather be there because I feel more comfortable there. Because this challenge that we're going through, this challenge is probably not easy. It's like going to the gym. We go to the gym and it's hard to lift the weights and to do the running and everything. But by breaking down the muscle, by tearing down the muscle and rebuilding it, the muscle is being rebuilt. And the gym doesn't have to be with muscles. It could be also our perception, our imagination. Shifting our perception is like going to the gym for our imagination. So, what's the easier way? And the question can be answered um, straight out verbatim. Oh, the easier way is this or that. But the question can also be, do we want to take the, let's identify the easier way and see how does it compare to where I'm heading towards. And what do I require of myself? Because this is time for ourselves to clear that tohu vavohu, to clear that mess, and to go into a new place with confidence in our choice, and with confidence that we're being taken care of, and with confidence that nothing has to be in a negative way, but a building way. So it can be difficult. So the easier way doesn't mean necessarily it's the best way. Yeah. It could be. For example, you don't have to suffer to see God, right? You don't have to have this I suffer thus I exist. It could be, but that is actually easier to suffer. Depends on where you come from. So, so I think I'm going to start doing this. And every time that we have a conversation, we have a talk here, um, we'll pull a card and we'll see what message that is. What message are we being poked to experience? So, with that said, have a wonderful Shabbat, and let the sound begin. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Check my YouTube, Facebook. If you would like to experience sound in a different way, in a more deeper way, send me a message.